from KTVU Fox 2 News, the Oakland family at the center of FBI probe. And of course, they don't mention in that headline they're investigating a house owned by Oakland Mayor Shang Tao, and she may or may not even live there. But this is happening only shortly after a Juneteenth parade got shot up. So they are trying their hardest to muddy the waters. But my name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot, and it would cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend some money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description.
Other raids that happened around the city.
KTVU's Amanda Quintana here in the studio with the latest developments. Amanda?
Yeah, and we continued to learn more this morning. We've been seeing video of these agents going in and out of Mayor Shang Tao's home yesterday morning, carrying boxes and bags from the home. The FBI has been tight-lipped, though, about this investigation, only telling us that they were...
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, the FBI can't be trusted. Nobody can be trusted. For the millionth time, there are no adults in the room. The FBI goes after Eric Adams. The FBI goes after Donald Trump. The FBI goes after, peaceful protesters at the baby binning mill. So who knows what these people are up to and who told them to do what? But with that said, I can also be nearly sure that Shang Tao is completely corrupt, and I guess this is them pretending to do something about it.
We're conducting, quote, court-authorized law enforcement activity on Maiden Lane. Tao's home was not the only location raided yesterday, with the IRS and the Postal Service also involved. There were at least 3 other locations, all associated with the Dong family, including 1211 Embarcadero. That's the location of the recycling company Cal Waste, owned by the Dong family. Now, we have a photo of the family.
Bro, you can't even make this up. Like, this is Sopranos level. I mean, remember Chinatown gangster Ed Lee, former mayor of San Francisco, right? Waste management. This is just beyond parody.
From the Cal Waste website. Also raided was a home on Viewcrest Court and a home on Skyline Boulevard, both of them connected to the family as well. At that Viewcrest home, a neighbor told us he saw 2 people put in handcuffs there. The Dong family is heavily involved in politics and fundraising for politicians in both state and local government. The Dong family helped sponsor and plan Tao's trip to Vietnam last summer to promote trade. But we still don't know the exact connection between these 3 locations being investigated and Mayor Tao.
There is at least probable cause to suspect that there might be some federal violation here, and that's how you get an FBI raid. So my understanding is that prior inquiries in...
So if this FBI raid is legit, who sicked these people on Mayor Shang Tao? I mean, how bad do you have to be? Ask former San Francisco Department of Public Works head Mohamed Nuru, who of course was giving money to San Francisco Mayor London Breed. But my point is, how bad, how corrupt do you have to be in California for the feds to come after you? And right, this lady is facing a recall. She's awful left and right. I mean, they're all so terrible. But just imagine this. It's like when they got rid of Libby Schaaf, who made herself famous by saying, I'm not going to cooperate with ICE. We're going to let illegals run roughshod. And then they put in Shang Tao, who was actually worse. Same thing in New York when they got rid of grab-ass Andy Cuomo and put in Fimbot Cuomo, kickback Kathy Hochul. They only get worse. There's never a point where they're going to pump the brakes and say, okay, let's get back to a little bit of sanity and reality. They're just going to go further into the abyss.
Into this family, involved campaign contributions, which are typically a local or state issue. So,
okay, well, I don't know what to make of this, and I guess I will give this news outlet, one of my favorites, right, childhood favorite, KTVU, Fox 2 News, because I did say that they weren't going to follow up on this at all, and they still might not. We don't have that much information, but I think about Eric Adams in New York when the FBI raided one of his top fundraisers who was only like 25 years old when he was going to Washington, D.C. to talk about the illegals, and then we just never heard about it again. And look, without getting too conspiratorial about the entire thing, we all know that the Bay Area, and I mean California in general, is completely collapsing. Crime, prices, both through the roof. It's absolutely nonstop. Downtown San Francisco collapsing. It never ends. Oh, but we did make a giant high rise for the homeless people that costs a couple $100 million or whatever, and I'm sure it's going to be pristine. They're going to keep it in tip-top shape, but that's a completely different story. So the mayor's home, or one of the mayor's homes, got raided, which was only a day before or a day after, right around the time that the Juneteenth parade got shot up. And I think we all saw that. But how is it possible? I mean, I could be completely off base here, but as the entire city and state, arguably, is completely collapsing, that lady who is facing a recall gets raided by the feds only shortly after a Juneteenth parade gets shot. And for the record, these positive events, this Juneteenth stuff and all of these, I mean, for many years growing up in Oakland, there were always supposed to be positive events that would almost undoubtedly end in violence.
Are looking for the people who fired shots during a Juneteenth celebration in Oakland. At least 4 people were hit at Lake Merritt. Let's take it over to KTVU's James Torres, live in Oakland this morning with some updates from police. James?
Yeah, Pam, police said that it started off as a fun and pretty peaceful celebration. Now they're looking for people who might be responsible for firing shots into a crowd. They say it could be more than one shooter responsible for this. It all started late last night, just before 9 o'clock. That's when Oakland police said it had a couple dozen of its own officers overseeing that event happening at Lake Merritt. About 5,000 people were there. At some point, sideshows and fights started to break out. The crowd became hectic. The Oakland Fire Department reporting it helped at least 4 gunshot victims. Police took some of those to a nearby hospital. Other victims took themselves for treatment. Some people at the celebration we spoke to started running, they say, when they heard the gunshots.
I came out here to celebrate.
And there's also video, maybe from this network or a different one, about how some of the people who were at the scene of the crime were immediately hostile to police.
We could see a massive police presence out here. Behind me, I counted at least 24 police patrol cars, and beyond my line of sight, you can tell with the flashing lights, there are plenty more in the area. Now, the mood has been very chaotic, confrontational. I've seen participants in this Juneteenth celebration get confrontational with police verbally.
As though it was their fault.
Our culture, our freedom. You see, people are still out here singing and dancing. This is not fun. Just two or 3 years ago, this happened, and it seems to be.
Oh yeah, just 2 or 3 years ago it happened, and then 2 or 3 years ago before that, and another year or two before that. I mean, and the cycle continues. So this is clearly par for the course at this point, but it only makes you look worse, because how has nobody gotten a handle on this? They could if they wanted to, but obviously they don't. They would rather always blame the cops and fire the chief of police.
A repeating cycle. It needs to be some kind of change in the community.
Yeah, it was about 3 years ago at a Juneteenth celebration at Lake Merritt where police responded to a deadly shooting. 1 man died and a total of 6 people were shot. Police are still looking for clues to who might be responsible. Officers did arrest at least 1 person, they say, for assault.
Look, and here the pop-up says mass shooting, 15 injured. So is that before or after? Look, it doesn't even matter. I mean, 4 would have been bad enough, but now they're talking about 15. And when you have a completely corrupt mayor who is facing a recall and is also being raided by the feds, is that worse than the absolute violence of people getting shot in what is supposed to be a peaceful, uplifting event?